Hey everyone, Hurricane Liz here, and we're back again on our product sourcing videos. Unfortunately, got a bit derailed because I had to fly back home, but we are ready to get started again. And let's just recap what we're doing here and get back into the actual mix. So, first and foremost, my number one goal here is to give you an idea of how to get familiar with the market. Keep in mind, I am not covering one of my particular markets, so I really don't have much experience in this market. So there might be some things that I miss, but that's just part of learning the market. And the other thing is I'm only going to cover the first part of this process, which is just building this gigantic list of products that we could potentially make. We will cover the second part of the process in the next 30 days, but for now we want this big giant list of exactly what we're going to source. Best bet for you guys to do is get used to doing this daily for the best results. I like to do it for at least even 10 minutes a day, but if you can squeeze in more like 30, start doing that, because that's how you become an expert at the particular niche that you choose to do. And last point here that I wanted to make is that your immediate success, as well as your success in the long term, is going to be heavily reliant upon being able to product source the right products. So again, that's what I hope that this video series will help you do, is be able to pick the right product. And that starts with finding the right products to put in this gigantic list that you build. So let's go ahead and jump straight into Amazon. Okay, so I'm here inside of Amazon, and what we're gonna do today is we're just gonna go ahead and go straight into the bestseller rankings, and we're gonna hit those here. But I like to do a little trick. I like to actually look at not just the bestseller rankings, but what I like to actually do is first type in bestseller Amazon on Google, then I jump into the Amazon bestseller. But I like to look at some of these other categories like hot new releases, movers and shakers, most wished for, and gift ideas. So today, let's just continue on with what we did last time. Let's jump into the good old exciting office niche. It's one of my favorite niches to get some excitement going and really get the day started off with motivational type stuff. And it just gets me fired up to look into the office niche. So let's take a look at that. And I'm just looking around here trying to see what kind of products kind of stand out a little bit that could potentially be made into private label products. Obviously, printing cartridges are just not going to work out, you know. Here's some folders, manila folders. Those kind of might be heavy, but they sell quite well. A Brother printer, ink, colored pencils. We talked about those in the last actual episode of what could be potentially wrong with colored pencils. Here's some Sharpies, but at that price, not really too interested since I know Sharpie's pretty big. Here's that, once again, that electronic sharpener here that we talked about last time. I don't know if it's electronic, but it's a pencil sharpener. This is the best sellers niche. And I just want to briefly browse through maybe the top 50 or so. And then I want to jump into my other favorite categories that I prefer to go into, but let's jump into that. Not necessarily categories. I actually meant the bestsellers, movers, shakers, and stuff like that. Again, some more envelopes or folders that you hold things in, like papers. It's for those of you that do paperwork. You know, some of the rest of us don't do paperwork. This is interesting. It's a gigantic calendar monthly pad, but it's priced at $4.13. It doesn't really get me that excited. Here again are those Velcro wraps that we saw in the last one. So as you can see, it's been about a week since we've actually been in this niche and not too much exciting things going on. We'll take a look at one more section of this and then we'll jump into some of the others. Here is, again, we saw these laminating pouches. Here is a digital kitchen scale, which is kind of interesting. So I would actually grab that and put it on the list. So I remind you guys that the list is nothing more than a cooking scale. It's nothing more than just an Excel sheet. You can either grab the ASIN, which is available through here. If you guys have not already seen my video on the 3 free tools you cannot be without, check out the other YouTube videos I have, because that's a definite one, so that you can get this extension here. But I would just simply put this information right in these boxes. It really doesn't matter if you put ASIN or link, either one will work. And I'll compare this here to my other sheet here in a second, but let's go through one more. Here we have some more erasable pens. We had that in last time too. So as you can see, not much has actually changed in the office niche since we checked it out about a week and a half ago. Here's another pencil sharpener. Here's some more art markers. Another type of scale. I'm not sure what it's about. But... All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at movers and shakers instead. Now this one tends to change a little more drastically than the actual bestsellers one. But as you guys can see, not a lot happening in the actual bestseller category within the span of about a week. But that's where sometimes this market can drastically change. That's where when you get really familiar with it and you look at it day after day, if you do that, you are just miles ahead of your competition, because they might get lazy and think, not much has changed in this niche. And then surprise, there's something brand new, and that's that hot new trending item that's really just killing it. So let me jump back into the most exciting niche of all, good old office, and take a look at movers and shakers. So I'm not too sure what this thing is, but let's jump into it and look, because right away it stands out to me. This is kind of interesting to me. This is a ergonomic adjustable ankle footrest. And I haven't really seen one, but again, I'm not an expert in the office niche, but I'm going to jump in there and put this on my sheet right away. So adjustable footrest, and I'm going to grab the ASIN and toss it in there. So I'm going to copy this ASIN, and then I'm going to go ahead and adjustable footrest. So right away, movers and shakers tosses out something. And let's continue to look around. So this is also kind of interesting too. It's a little bit bigger, but this is really brandable. It's a rolling printer cart machine. So I'm going to grab that right away and put that on there as well. As I said before, you can find some real hidden gems in this particular, not niche, but this particular section, the movers and shakers. So it's a printer cart, rolling printer cart. So I got 2 already out of the top 3, so I'm on a roll. Here's some chalk markers and pens, which are also another interesting thing. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. These are chalk markers and pens. Here is an expanding file letter. This is black. This is Amazon Basics, so that tells me that it's a pretty hot product. Amazon's got all the data, so they were really itching to sell this, and you could put it on your list. It happens to be $6.49, so it's not too attractive, but still wouldn't be a bad thing if you actually put it on there. This also stands out to me. It's a Day Designer 2017-2018 academic year. Now, I know a lot of people might think that this could potentially suck, because we're already middle into 2017, so it could suck. But one thought that you could actually think is to actually make it more generic, so that they have to enter the date so that it could be used like universally. So I'm still going to put it in there. Rank 285 in Office. It's only got 3 reviews, and to be quite honest, this looks like something my grandma might buy. I mean, it's just really lame design. So I don't know if you're appealing to the grandmas, that maybe that's the only generation that still use these date planners, because I know for a fact I use just my phone and reminders that I set on my phone, or my personal assistant Rob. I just tell him to set a reminder because I can't figure it out half the time. So Rob, shut up please. All right, so floral thank you cards. These are kind of interesting. They're very generic. That might be something it might be worth doing. Like, I mean, it's just something that's super generic. Floral thank you cards. So I'm going to go ahead and put those too. And like I said, I'm finding a lot of interesting things here in the movers and shakers. All right, let's see what else we got. Dry erase erasers, they're just too cheap at $3.99. Standing desk, kind of too expensive. I wouldn't recommend a beginner start with that because of the high price point. But as you can see, I've already picked up about 7 items just looking at page 1 of Movers and Shakers, which is a heck of a lot more than we did the best sellers last time. Here we go. Decorative powerful magnet set. This is great because this is super simple to come out with. I mean, it's just a couple pieces of plastic with magnets attached to it. I mean, literally any asswad can make that. Let's be honest. So I'm just going to put magnets there. It should be super simple. I'm going to stay away from paper or tape. I'm not too interested in either one of those. Here's another interesting thing. Now, this is made by Post-it, so it's potentially there could be some patents or something, but it's still worth kind of like investigating, and that is a Post-it self-stick easel pad. So I'm pretty sure they couldn't patent easel pads, but let's just copy and paste this. This is just an easel pad. It's just a big piece of freaking paper. At the end of the day, that's all it is, a big gigantic piece of paper. Here's some pens. Here's some paper clips at $5.19. I think that's a little too cheap, or else we jump in and grab that. Here's a professional business card holder, but at $1.99 it's kind of cheap. However, I mean, this is kind of like almost a joke. Like, these people have got to be losing money on this. For $1.99, they're already out $1.42 with this particular price. So they could just be doing this to kind of launch this. So it makes me kind of curious, and I'm going to put it on my list because I want to investigate all the rest of the business card holders. There's got to be luxury ones or ones that people are willing to pay more money for. So don't ever let a price sort of convince you to not check the niche in general. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to put down business card holder. See what else we've got. Some dry erase markers. I talked about them. I believe they're on my list from last time. Some of these storage box, these banker's box, look interesting. I kind of can't recall what type of box they're in, so I'm going to pass and not look at that. But here's 110 by 13 hot pink poly mailers. This is kind of an interesting thing too. It appeals to ladies, which happen to be my favorite market to sell to. They buy freaking anything. Women are nuts. They'll buy anything and they want it like right now. So I'm going to put these pink poly mailers on the list here, as I think this person could be onto something. Here we go again with Amazon Basics with multi-purpose copy paper. So what does that tell you? Amazon's onto something. They have the data for this. That shit is selling like hotcakes. Here's again some more padded envelopes or poly mailers. These are interesting. This is a seasonal thing, but it's sort of just still interesting to pay attention to. Golden metallic Easter eggs. I don't even actually know what the hell they do. Fun Express. Fun for an Easter egg hunt. I kind of really think that these Easter eggs are misplaced. In fact, I'm going to write them down because I think it would make another interesting video to show you the importance of putting a product in the proper category. But I'm going to actually write these Easter eggs down because I think they'll do really good being inside of like their own video to show you why it's so important to have them in the right place. So I really don't think plastic Easter eggs belong in the office category. Then again, I don't really know what niche they would belong in. Perhaps toys. But still kind of interesting that somebody thought they belonged in the office niche. So here's another banker's box right here. Second time it's popped up. Bible highlighter study kit. That's kind of interesting to me. They literally call themselves the Bible High Glider. I kind of think that's interesting. And I'm actually wanting to put these in here. The 1,100 reviews. But I think this person is onto something. Like, this is something that people regularly highlight is the Bible. And if you could sell the fact that these don't bleed through like other highlighters and screw up your Bible, then I think you might be onto something. So I'm going to grab these Bible highlighters and I'm going to copy them down and paste them on over to here. And I'm going to make it through the top 100 and then we will wrap this up. Index cards, again, Amazon knows what's selling and that's why they're in that particular niche. So we got regular felt tip pens. We covered those in the last video. Retractable badge holders. Now this is kind of interesting. I would definitely get this down. There could be a lot of ways that you could actually sell this, but this is below the $10 price point that I usually like to hit. I typically like to be above that, like at 15, but you could potentially make a more premium version of this actual product. So retractable badge holders. Correction tape, which is nothing more than a fancy way to say whiteout. Some more value mailers. Here we go, Amazon's Basic Classic Notebook. Now this is a space where they know what the numbers show, and mostly everybody's using a journal, so that's kind of interesting. It looks identical to another popular notebook. I don't even have to tell you guys what it is, but it's the spitting image of it. So pretty interesting that they're going after that. These just too low price. I don't see a way to be able to put those together or bundle them up with something and make them worth your while. So that is the top 100 in movers and shakers. In the next video, we'll cover another category, but I also like to look at these that pop up here along the side and make sure I didn't miss anything. Here's a ghost paper notebook. We'll check that in the next time when it comes on, as well as most wish for blank cards. So that could be a thing that you do. Like these thank you cards were very generic. If you have an artist friend or you're a graphic artist, you can very easily put some together yourself and just literally outsmart all the other graphic artists out there that are not as smart as you. They're dummies because they don't actually know how to rank this stuff on Amazon. So you can easily beat all the dummies out there if you know how to rank this stuff, which we'll cover in future videos. But for now, there we just got a total of 13 keywords. Compared to last time, we actually got a total of 14. So it's quite a bit. We've got now a big list of almost 28 products that we can actually start looking for and sourcing out there. So I will see you guys in the next video when we tackle the next category.